you look for a bank, choose a partner with local expertise and local decision-making. Veritex Community Bank offers solutions and a true business ally. We look forward to building your future. We're Veritex Community Bank, true to your business, true to Texas.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is KG Smooth of Magic 102.1 in Houston, Texas. Some of you may remember my face from the dating reality show Ready to Love on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Well, I just want to say what's up to our Houston and Dallas family. And today we are here with our good friends at Veritex Community Bank. They are back to present Funding Your Future. This is a series where they're going to be giving you the truth on how to fund your future for a better financial life. I mean, who don't want, a better life, especially when it comes to that money. So we're going to be talking to some financial advisors, and we'll be here every Thursday this month in April at 6 p.m. And today we are talking about prepping and planning your financial life. And I've got some incredible women who are going to be talking about how you can do that. But first, I was wondering, did you know this statistic that 69% of adult Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account, and more than 2/3 of Americans have less than $1,000 saved up. And majority of those with less than $1,000 in their savings have no savings at all. So we got to think and strategize and rethink how we think about money. And so I want to bring up some incredible folks from Veritex Community Bank, Courtney, Michelle, and LaSonia, who are our financial advisors. Courtney is the SVP at Veritex Community Bank. LaSonia and Michelle are also in the building. Ladies, welcome. How y'all doing?
Hello, doing well. Thanks for having us.
Good afternoon.
Hey, we're doing it big. So ladies, tell the folks what it is exactly that you all do. Courtney, I'll start with you.
Okay, well, I'm Courtney Taylor, as KG said. I am Senior Vice President of Community Development for Veritex Community Bank. And so I help us partner with our different community and nonprofit organizations. And we go out and we teach financial literacy. We help in the realms of affordable housing, community service in general, workforce development, and help with small business efforts. And we do a lot of community giving and volunteerism. So I get a chance to do all of those fun community events and just things that really impact the city of Houston as well as Dallas.
Indeed, it's good to see you. Michelle, tell us about your position at Veritex Community Bank.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Patterson. I am a community bank manager at Veritex Community Bank. I've been in the banking industry for about 17 years now, all over the Houston market, working in various roles in the bank. And, I have a strong passion for really serving our community and helping individuals, families, and businesses succeed financially. I have that passion to be their resource with whatever they need help with. So I'm excited to be here in this conversation with us today.
Indeed. And last but not least, the lovely LaSonia Bishop from Volunteers of America of Houston.
Welcome. I am so excited to be here today. I am actually one of the community partners of Veritex Community Bank. My name is LaSonia Bishop. As you stated, my role there is a program director. So I oversee a regional workforce team, and basically we get out and help the community. We're in the Houston area. We actually have a triage of services that we'll get to talk about a little later on. But the core component of all of our programming centers around financial stability, which that conversation is exactly where we're going today.
Yeah, because there is so much going on. I mean, you've got this hyperinflation that is happening. You've got the real estate market doing, up and down like a yo-yo. You've got the introduction to cryptocurrency, the Coinbase, with the blockchain and the NFTs, like all of this stuff that is coming down. And I can't wait to tackle all of that, because I'm sure that it's on a lot of people's minds today. We're talking about the truth. They're going to give you the truth. So ladies, so what are some tips or, some hacks that people may be able to use with their, financial budgeting when they're planning to, do big things, make a big purchase? What are some of those life hacks in the money system that we can use?
KG, a couple of things that I personally have done, just looking at my money in general. Sometimes we don't necessarily pay attention to how much we're swiping or what's going through, our how much we might be eating out or whatever the case may be. And so
That part.
Right. And so I really started paying attention to a lot of the different things that I'm doing. And so one of the tips that I was looking at, whether it's, luxuries or whatever the case may be, I started looking at, okay, cable. Why do I have cable when there's all these streaming aspects out there? So there's your Netflix, there's your Hulu's, there's all these streaming platforms. Does that make sense for me to have cable now? Or should I cut the cord and go to a streaming platform where I can have Hulu for $6 a month or Netflix for $10, whatever the case may be? So right there is where you can save a good $40, $50 a month by just doing that. So then a little bit later, I started going a little deeper into, all right, now I have internet, right? All I need is internet and I'm streaming. But another hack was, Xfinity or AT&T or whoever the case may be, they charge you on a monthly basis for the equipment, right? So I started paying attention to some of those bills. And I was like, wait, y'all are charging me like $10 a month to have just to rent your equipment? So how do I go and save on that? Well, I go online and I can purchase a modem, a router, which for maybe $100, $125, purchase that outright. Now I don't have to worry about renting AT&T or Xfinity stuff. And it works just like the stuff that they give us, right? So it's stuff like that. Or what about couponing? What is the coupons at the different apps out there? What do they look like? How can I utilize those to help with my grocery shopping? Because as we know, groceries are extremely expensive in this time of inflation. And so am I paying attention to maybe some of the apps, or do I have a card, the Kroger card or the HEB app, whatever grocery store that you shop at? What are some ways that I can save money in those aspects, as well? And then another thing is there's so many apps out there to help you put together a budget or to also help you save some money. And so I started playing around with a couple of them and just really paying attention on where my money is going. And so there's one app that I found where I can plug in, maybe I want to go to one of my guilty pleasures, Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or, something like that. But it allows me to plug it in and say, all right, if you go there and you spend $20 a week, we can set it up where we put $5 to the side because you decided to go and spend your guilty pleasure, whatever the case may be. So it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna set something up like this. Or they have that rule where, you want to save a certain amount of money for the 52 weeks in the year, right? And so there's different ways to do that. And so I started planning these apps, started doing that. And the other day I recognized, I was like, oh, I saved like $500 and not even thinking about it because of how much I swipe my card, right? And so my goal at the end of the year is to look back and say, oh my gosh, I've saved this money and I didn't necessarily miss it, right? But also at the same time, it's showing me like, girl, this is what you do, and these are your habits. Where
what you
cut
do.
back at, right? And sometimes, especially when you're starting to do your taxes and things of that nature, you get sick looking at some of your bank statements, and you're like, oh my gosh, I literally spent so much money on food or something that you're like, I didn't even need to do. So I look at different things like that, and then really on a budget. Are you really paying attention to the money that's coming in and money that's going out? Are you keeping a track on, okay, I get paid on this day. These bills are due here. What does that look like? Maybe putting together a calendar. Like, I think organization really, when it comes to budgeting and managing your money, is key. Like, all right, I got $2,000 coming in. How much money is going out? Or also too, when saving some stuff, if you're working, do you have it where you can set up direct deposit where it can go to a checking account and a savings account where you might not even miss, some of that money that's going to your checking account initially?
What about your credit cards? Because a lot of credit card companies, they offer like a cash back kind of system. Like when you swipe, you'll get a certain percentage, per day. And then, before you know it, by the end of the month, it's like, oh wow, I got $100 back,
right?
Because I was swiping. Would another way to kind of monitor that is like pay things with your credit card and just pay it off through your checking account?
Oh, excuse me.
Ooh, my love. You need some of this? This is the best water in Texas.
Pay things with your credit card. Oh, excuse me. Michelle, I'll let you take over for a second.
Well, what Courtney's talking about is paying some things with your credit card. Just don't go crazy with it. Be responsible. Don't put yourself into more debt by overspending on that credit card. But looking for credit cards that have no annual fee, that reward you for your spending. And you can really treat your credit card kind of like a checking account and limit your spending. How much do I have? This is my little budget to use my credit card for, and then just paying it off at the end of the month before you're even worrying about it.
Yeah, I think so. Saving is key to budgeting.
Absolutely. And KG, one of the really interesting things here, the point that both Courtney and Michelle brought about, is just this awareness of you really understanding what you have versus what you spend versus what you can save, and how all of these things in a combination impact your credit. What does that even look like? So just, one of the most crucial, I think, components of our Financial Opportunity Center is that we really bring to the forefront, yes, having a career trajectory is important, but how you manage your finances has a very deep impact on every decision in life, basically, that you can make, your family can make. And these are generational things that, you can absolutely pass along to individuals, just so you can, greatly change the trajectory, basically, of, your family lifestyle and your own career pathways.
So what do you all think about, how do you all feel about the money saving apps like Acorn and Digit and apps like that? Those
like
the change type of apps.
I like them. It's an easy way to make sure that you have some money. Once again, you don't even think about it at the end of the day. And then a month later, you may be like, oh, I got $50 that I didn't even know about. And now that's a tank of gas.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to talk about is gas. Everyone is looking for apps that are helping them to find, their nearest gas stations that have the best price, places that they can get rewards. I know something that our clients had really been asking about over the last month is how you can accumulate these points at, a store like Kroger or Sam's or Costco, how you can utilize your spending at these places to enhance other, aspects of your spending.
What type of savings accounts are out there to help short-term, long-term savings? Are there specific types, kind of like how there are specific kind of checking accounts?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that you really want to think about when you're preparing and planning for your financial future is looking at your accounts, and are you in the right accounts that suit your financial needs and your plans and goals? These are some key factors on here and benefits that you really want to consider and evaluate your current accounts to make sure whether it's a savings or a checking account, are you in the right accounts? The first and second one, accessibility and convenience, they go hand in hand. How do I get to my money? How can I move my money? Do I have transaction limits? What kind of restrictions are out there? Am I paying fees? Do you get an ATM card or a debit card? Or is it one of those where you only can access your account by writing checks? So what works for you? Can you go there in person, or is it an online only bank? The next benefit you would want to look at is mobile and digital engagement. Courtney talks a lot about the different apps and the online banking availability. Of course, everybody has a website nowadays, but is it a user-friendly website? So is it something that you are comfortable with maneuvering around on that website or that mobile app? How efficient is that mobile app? Does it provide any of those online tools that we talk about to help you make those plans? Like Courtney was talking about, the mobile apps where you can put in your plan, what your plan is. It helps you keep track of your financial plan. This next one, this is near and dear to my heart, banker communication. Okay, so when you're looking at your accounts and you're evaluating your accounts, do you know your banker? Is there someone that's out there that's just a call away that you can ask with any questions you may have, concerns? There's such a big benefit behind having that special relationship with the banker, because your financials are so personal and you want somebody you're comfortable with talking to. You're not afraid to ask them for help. They're easy to talk to, and they're truly your advocate because you want them to help guide you and support you on this financial path to success. Location access is another one. Where's your bank? What are their hours of operation? Do they have a drive-through? What if you need to get to the bank after hours? We talk about Houston's traffic jams and you can't make it to the bank during their hours. So when you finally get there, can you still conduct business? Can you drop it in a night drop? Can you leave your deposit through the ATM? Can you even make a mobile deposit? And really making sure that you have this last one, the ability to manage my own relationship. So looking at those key tools that have these enhanced digital platforms that can let you personalize your preferences and really give you access to budgeting and accounting tools, setting your account alerts, getting your statements. Like Courtney said, you view your activity, right? So you're looking at this pie chart, you're seeing where your spending is going and viewing that activity. At Veritex, we even have something called My Card Rules, and you can turn off and on your debit card for some fraud prevention. Or if you just misplaced it, you lost it in the seat pocket when you went to the grocery store. And so that ability to manage and move and protect your money is really key. So having to reevaluate all your accounts and seeing if you have the ability and the access to all of this at the convenience of your very own hands is just so empowering. So looking at these benefits, everyone can look at this, relook at your accounts, see if your accounts are equipped to help you with your financial journey. Am I set up for success with all of these accounts? So take a look at it, see what you have, what's important to you, and help you on that path. Now you mentioned, short-term, long-term accounts, some savings options. So let's talk about those. Right. So now that you've already looked at what you're in, let's look at something if you want to plan for the savings. Now you're ready to move on to savings. We've got savings accounts out there. What's great about those, it's a very simple product. You get the flexibility to have your account liquidity, meaning that cash is available. There's no exact time frame that you have to put that money in. So you can save at your own pace. You have a little bit here, a little bit there, kind of like those keep the change apps that round up whatever leftover. You can put it in that savings account. Lots of banks offer what we call certificates of deposits or CDs. They're called time deposit accounts, and that's exactly what they are. They're for a time frame. So you get to pick your term. How long do I want to put that money in there? Am I comfortable with putting it away for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 5 years? Really looking at your situation and saying, okay, I can do that, or even splitting it and doing a couple different time deposits, maybe 1 3 months here, 1 6 months down the road. But you got to be careful with those because you don't want to get penalized for closing them early in the case of emergency. So that's where a savings account may be a better fit for you because something comes up, you have that liquidity. You can pull it out of a savings account. And of course, we've got those individual retirement accounts, IRA accounts. Those are a lot for long term. There could be possible penalties for early withdrawal. But when you're thinking about that, you think about down road for retirement. But then again, even if you're close to retirement age, it's not too late. You're still eligible to make contributions to that. Don't dismiss yourself and sell yourself short by thinking, I'm already close to retirement. I don't need to put away any money. This is a good, safe way for you to be responsible about putting a certain amount aside for the long haul. And then of course you have to remember that there's penalties for early withdrawal and closure for that too.
Yeah, thank you for that breakdown. I think a lot of people, especially in our community, they know about a savings account, they know about a checkings account. They're not familiar with the certificate of deposits or the IRAs. Like, when they hear CDs, they're thinking of something that you listen to and not money that you save. So thank you, Michelle, for breaking that down. I hope that helped out a lot of people who ever wondered what that was. That's why we are here, to help you plan your financial future. So let's talk about Volunteers of America, Houston. Lasagna, not everyone knows who you all are, and the free services and workshops that you all offer for all of these new transplants that we have coming to the great state of Texas.
We do. We do.
They might have missed you last year. Tell us about Volunteers of America.
Well, we are actually in a national agency over 125 years old. The Financial Opportunity Center here in Houston is actually situated in the illustrious Independence Heights neighborhood, and we offer some wonderful supports for individuals. All of our services are free. We primarily support vulnerable populations, or those that just have, barriers or access to education, resources that would be in the community. So all of this encompasses, if there are benefits that are out there that individuals would qualify for, they can come and be screened at our agency, employment services and readiness, a job skill training. And I don't mean just any training. We have certificate and degree-based programs, and all are based on eligibility. But most importantly, our financial coaching and financial counseling. That is a free service. We are so excited to have been a multi-year partner with Veritex Community Bank, which works alongside our financial counseling, offering financial workshops, financial literacy workshops. And we don't start high level. Yes, we're talking about here on the show, we're talking about CDs and IRAs, but for folks that really need to start at a basic level of just knowing, how do I even, deal with money coming in and money going out and how much I have? I don't even know where to start. I've never really truly been taught how to manage my money. We start at the basics. Everyone that comes through the door starts with a money management plan and a budget. And we also set goals from there. So there's a lot to learn there. We're happy, like I said, to be able to service our community. We've been around for a really long time, and being able to have the opportunity to be on shows like this helps us to kind of get the word out in the community and allows us to reach more individuals to help to change their lives. Really having that understanding about financial literacy, it impacts so many other aspects of life, because again, we want to encourage individuals to get the career pathways that they've always dreamed of or always have been interested in. But alongside that, we always walk them along that journey of financial literacy and counseling. Again, yes, it is free, no charge.
You had mentioned starting off with the basics. Where should someone start their financial literacy journey?
That's a great question.
I always thought that it should start in the schools, and
yes,
but then they only teach so much. Just now, are we now seeing that financial literacy, is now becoming a part of the curriculum in high school, and that students need to pass that in order to graduate. Thank God. Finally, I wish they had that when I was coming up.
Isn't that the truth? Look, me as well. My background before going into the social service aspect of careers was actually in education. So I completely understand, the trajectory of how things have changed so much over the last years in terms of, how financial literacy is now infused into math and science and reading and other subjects. But everyone has their own individual journey. So the very first thing that happens at Volunteers of America, Texas, our Financial Opportunity Center, is you go through an assessment. And it sounds super formal and kind of rigid, but it's really not. It's our way of really relationship building, getting to know you. Sometimes talking about finances, it's uncomfortable. People don't want to talk about the debt that they have. You got credit cards that you owe on, or you've ruined your credit. You have things in other people's names, or you've had things in your name that don't belong to you that are impacting your credit. So we always start with just that, that conversation. What brought you to Volunteers of America, Texas, and how can we help you on this journey? We don't give instructions. We allow people to make their own decisions by empowering them with the knowledge and then allowing them to make better decisions based on their learning.
For sure. Are there any resources or classes that you can provide our listeners to help them in their financial foundation planning?
Yes, we do. So we really we couple that financial literacy with career training. So right now at the Financial Opportunity Center, we actually have two career tracks. One that is really geared toward healthcare, because we know over the last few years, it's really been a booming industry, always very important, but now a booming industry. And then also manufacturing and logistics. And so, like I said, in addition to going through these training programs, a requirement of eligibility for our programs is participating in financial coaching and financial workshops that are offered by our great community partners of Veritex Community Bank. And so the goal of us being able to provide these financial literacy services is, of course, to have individuals to have access to high growth, high wage jobs, which of course increases their wages, and to improve their finances. Who doesn't want to be able to better manage their money and make it work for them and make it work smarter for them? And then, of course, access to public benefits. We've gone through several disasters. We've all been living through a pandemic. There have been resources in the city that folks may not necessarily have access to if they lack technology or lack transportation. They can come to us and we can really route them to almost anywhere in the city where there is a resource if it's something that we don't provide in our building.
Indeed. And that website is voatx.org.
You got it.
We
That's
got
it. Come see us over in Independence Heights.
And indeed. Yeah. So, Courtney,
Mm-hmm.
we have partnered with a variety of, you all have partnered with a variety of community organizations where you teach financial literacy a month. Tell us about that.
So throughout both the Houston and the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we partner with a variety of nonprofit and community organizations where we as bankers are supplying our expertise in talking about the budgeting aspect. We're talking about the credit scores and credit reports. We're talking about first-time homebuyer programs. We're talking about identity theft. I just taught a course on that not too long ago, because in times of crisis, in a pandemic, when there's a hurricane that hits or a tornado hits, there's all types of schemes and scams that pop up. And so we want to make sure that people are more able to identify what that may look like. And so we as bankers are saying, hey, watch out for this. Or what about this? Or do you know what your, credit score is? I've been in classrooms where I said, how many of you know what your credit score is today? You could walk in somewhere and say, I know what my credit score is, and I can apply for, this loan or this car, whatever the case may be. And it's amazing how many people don't know that information or how to find that information, right? And so sharing about the 3 different credit bureaus and sharing about, what a FICO score is, and really getting into the minds of people, like, this is what you need to know. I always tell people your credit score is your adult report card, your credit, your credit report. And so and it stays with you forever. Somebody said, well, when I get married, it goes away, right? I said, oh, no, that's yours. It stays with you to the day you die. It's there. And so I think we have to learn how to stop being so scared of our finances, because so many times we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with bill collectors, or we don't want to look at this. We don't want to deal with that. Right. I've been there before. And I had to come to a place where I was like, no, you're going to stare it in his face and you're going to figure out how we're going to take this on, because at the end of the day, we control our finances. And so we have those conversations. And just like I told you, my guilty pleasures earlier, I ask people all the time, what is something that you can cut back on? Do you really need to go to Starbucks every morning to go get your $10 coffee and muffin or whatever the case may be? Or can you cut it back and say, I'm gonna just go 2 days out the week or 1 day and I'm gonna make some other stuff at home? It's all about your choices and your decision making. But I think sometimes we have to think of what's going to be the bigger picture, because so many people I meet say, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, or I want to save for this, and I want to save for vacation, or I want to do all these different things. Well, where is the discipline that you have in your budget and your everyday living? And that's really, to me, where the foundation starts with our finances, is the discipline. Where is it at? Right. And then we can really build on it from there and getting organized and things of that nature. So that's where we teach from Veritex. From our standpoint, we talk about that. And I don't want to say that we go in and we are say, you got to do this, you got to do that. We're not preaching. We are relating to people, because I know when I'm teaching, I'm talking to myself too. It's always a reminder, like, girl, you didn't need to go to Chick-fil-A. Right. It's still a reminder to myself, because we're all human, right? And we all say, oh, I work hard. I should be able to go do this. And that's fine every once in a while. You got to have, you got your budget where you got your needs, you got your wants, and you put your money for your savings and, paying your debt down. So it's all right to do some stuff for yourself every once in a while. Don't get me wrong. But, you have to take care of your responsibilities. Absolutely. And when those credit card bills and loans and all those things pop up, you have to make sure that you have taken care of that. Because just like LaSonya was saying earlier, how that the savings and the money and the payment of the bills all affects your credit report. And that, of course, will affect you down the line. So we partner with Volunteers of America, Northwest Assistance Ministries. I mean, I could go on and on, Wesley Community Center. So many different great organizations throughout the city of Houston and Dallas-Fort Worth that are supplying financial literacy workshops and classes in conjunction with banks like us, and they're doing it for free. This is all for free. This is not a cost. So why not take advantage of it?
Take advantage of it. But this is for the entire panel. Why do you think some people are afraid of money and finances, or afraid to, look at their credit? I'll use myself for an example. Just a few years ago, like I was just like, oh, I ain't paid attention to this in a while. Like, I bet it's probably, like, I don't know what it is. I finally had the courage to go and look. And then, and I had a financial advisor, looking with me, and it wasn't even that bad. She was like, well, you ain't got no debt. She's like, you just need to build, put more credit. So get you a couple more credit cards and do this here. And, now we're here today and I'm in the high 700 club.
That's what we love to hear. Okay.
So why do you all think that people are afraid of money and finances? Anyone can take that.
Well, I know that, and seeing the clients that do initially come to our financial opportunity centers, most of them don't know about the free financial literacy services. And so, they hear that, we can offer scholarships for tuition and trainings. And that's really our hook, to get them into understanding how much financial literacy impacts their career. And so the alignment of our services to really show them that it goes hand in hand, because if we're talking about a career trajectory, we're talking about your hourly wage that you're starting in a job. We're talking about, where that midline is, what you could do to enhance the skill set that you have, that increase in the money that you have. That's going to impact how much money you have going in your household and how much you have going out. And then for individuals that may come, oh yeah, I heard about the services that you had. I make enough money to cover my bills, but as long as I can cover my bills, I'm okay. And so making them aware of the habits of what you're doing, it could really change a lot of, some of the not so great habits you had. And again, it's to start with people where they are, not to make them feel like they're less than if there are things that they don't know, but to empower them with the knowledge and skills so that they can make better choices.
Indeed. Michelle, you want to tap in on that?
Yeah, and I think Lasagna's right. Really encouraging people to understand their finances. Sometimes they're afraid because they don't truly understand, where's my money going? It's coming in, it's coming out, but do I really see that big picture? And so it is a sensitive subject when it comes to going in to ask somebody for help. Sometimes they're afraid to ask because you may feel like, well, I don't know much, and so they're just going to put me down. But we're here to help. When you come into a bank, we're here to help and support you and guide you. So, and just like the programs that Lasagna has with Volunteers of America, they're there to help and guide. And that's what we want to do. We want to help and empower our community to not be afraid to come in and talk to us and ask us these questions, because we want you to be successful. It's a great feeling when you see somebody that's come in and you've helped them along this journey and they come back, kind of like KG said, I was like, woohoo, my score was this, it's so awesome. And so it feels great to really see those successes come into fruition when somebody was finally brave enough to open up to you and share what's going on with them. And, you just feel so wonderful to be able to support that and help them and encourage them to get other people to come in too and talk to you.
Indeed. Courtney, I want to come back to you. And ask you about Money Week, Houston Money Week.
Yes.
Tell us about this. Is this
so
you guys got some events coming up? Like
Houston Money Week is a huge initiative. It's been going on for years. Veritex is a partner. We've partnered with Houston Money Week for quite a few years, along with other financial institutions and community stakeholders, nonprofit organization, business owners, like a variety of different entities come together and put on financial events through the week of April 10th through the 17th. And there's a website, HoustonMoneyWeek.org, where it talks all about why this is important and what we are doing. And so you will find all of these free events over the next week or so. And really, sometimes we even go throughout the month because it is Financial Literacy Month, is being April. And so why just stop at a week? So there may be some other additional events, but I'm so happy that we're getting a chance to be a partner with the organization or with the collaborative again, because it's all free and it's empowering and there's different topics. So it might be somebody talking about credit, but it may be somebody talking about home ownership. It may be somebody talking about taxes at another organization. And so whether it's Veritex or another institution, we're still talking about financial empowerment. And that's the goal. We want folks to be empowered. We want folks to be educated and know what is going out there, what resources are out there. And it's all free. This is not a cost to anybody. It's a matter of going on the website, what events are out there? Let me sign up on Eventbrite, or let me figure out how to go to this or attend, whatever the case may be. And this happens every year. There's a list of events that, you can tune into. And so I'm so happy that we'll be back next week, because it'll be another portion of us participating in Houston Money Week with our next series that we'll be doing with you all. So
Nice.
I encourage all the listeners, go to HoustonMoneyWeek.org and figure out what you can tune into, because you never know what you'll learn, and just share with other people.
Yeah,
This is all about it.
Game. This is why we are here, to share
Exactly.
the information. It's free game, and we're trying to free your mind from the mental chains of how you view and treat money. I think when it comes down to it, and please tell me if you agree or not, it comes down to people's relationship with money. Do you respect the money? And I got that, because I asked that, financial question on my community show. Whenever I have a financial professional on the community affairs show called the Public Affairs Podcast, and I asked that, school or the school or in the home question about the finances. I always want to know that part. Something just happened here, and my train of thought. I just lost my train of thought here. But this is free game that we are giving you all, so you can free your mind from this, because the way that it has been set up and how we treat money. Oh yeah, that was it. How we treat money. It was a church lady, and she was like, I think. She said it's people's relationship with money. She was like, people don't respect the money. And she talked about how her grandmother was a trustee at the church, and how she would go back and watch them, count the money and just see where it was allocated and everything. And so I was like, you know what? You're not even a financial person, but that was the best answer that I have received. It's people's relationship, and do they respect money?
Right. Being a good steward over your money. It's your money. Being a good steward over it. So many times we want to be a good steward over other stuff, but what about our money?
And if I could take it to another place, money is it's currency. It's a currency. It's an exchange. And what is currency? Energy. So money is nothing but energy being exchanged. People worry about it. How can I get more of it? Well, if you stop, this was the thing that happened. And this is when the money started coming for me. When I stopped worrying about the money, worrying about, if I buy this, then, what about this and this and this? Or I can't go on this trip because I got to pay this and this and this and this and this. Once I stopped doing that and worrying about the money and where it was coming from, it started coming. I just changed my mindset, and I changed the frequency of the vibration that I was on, and the money started to come. I'm being so for real.
It's true, KG. I think, something very important that is really an overarching theme of what you're saying, what people don't understand. As hard as they work for money, you can make that money work for you just as hard.
Right.
You make that money work for you. But again, when you don't have the knowledge and skills, and you kind of push it to the side and disregard the power of what you can actually make that money do for you, you really just miss out. And especially when there's so many tools and resources that are in the community that are absolutely free. If I had known about this when I was in college and in grad school, it just so many things would have been made so much more easier, for me, and some of the struggles that I had because, of awareness. I truly did not know that there were things available in the community, which again is why these panels are so important in getting that information out in the community. There are agencies and organizations, including these banks, that will help you to understand having that financial literacy is.
Yes, indeed. Are there, wait, I feel like this has gone by way too fast. I feel like I need more time with you all before we close. As I mentioned earlier before we started, um, one of the things that is on the rising um, is this crypto space. And I'm seeing some things around social media, and I'm in certain spaces where they're talking about how the dollar is about to be done, and
Mm.
we're going to be on this coin based thing. I see how the government is going to have like the Fed coin, and everything right now is the wild west out here in the cryptocurrency world. Nothing is regulated, but now the powers that be, these governments around the world, they see what is going on, and now they want to regulate um, cryptocurrency. I just want you all's opinion on what the future looks like when it comes to um, finances and money, and how we will be doing business. Will everything be digital?
Mhm.
Will there still be, paper money and all of that? What is the pulse in the banking world um, on that? If you could share without, getting in trouble or anything, like letting the secrets out, and they're like, oh, they let the general public know already. No.
I can say from my perspective, I have no clue because I I have no clue as far as what that looks like. I'm watching the news and watching the Fed and everything just like you are. Because I don't, I'm not that high up, KG. But no, I have no clue. But clearly, technology has taken off, and it's taken us into a whole nother realm of things. So I think we're going to have to really pay attention to where technology is going to take us, and make sure that we're not being left behind in certain aspects. But yeah, I don't
You're
damn
you're close
there
to the
yet. I'm
street
not
because we
there
don't
yet.
know. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I just wanted to, gauge that. I'm sure we'll talk about that later on
Hmm.
in the week. Any final remarks that you all would like to leave for our audience? Like, where can we reach out for some of these resources that you all provided today? Because they're very, very, very important, mostly because they're free.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Yeah. Go ahead, Courtney.
you can always come to the veritexbank.com website. That's where you can find my information and Michelle's information. We have a list of different community events that are listed throughout the different months. And so you'll see, like, we're at Volunteers of America this day, we're doing this another day, we're doing all these different things. So definitely a way to keep up with us, and even our social media. We put a lot of our different events and things like that out on our social media websites too.
Michelle, anything you want to add? Anything, Mala?
Oh, no, it was great talking with everybody, being a part of this panel. And that's right. Make sure that we really get the word out, these free resources that are out there. We really want to encourage people and share what we know, share our knowledge and share other people's knowledge and experience, and help everybody in our community. So really promoting that and letting people know that these resources are out there.
Indeed. Lasagna?
Well, I have to say, I just always walk away from these conversations just really feeling like, getting this information out is so important, and having just really down to earth conversations that don't go so high level that people really get kind of the terminology that you're using. These are, this is basic information, free and available to everyone. You can find more information about Volunteers of America Texas at voatx.org. And we hope that everyone has really gotten some knowledge out of this session today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's always great talking to the good folks over at Veritex Community Bank. We friends, we partners. We've been at
Yes.
this for some years now. So I cannot wait until next Thursday, where we will be back at it again for the Fund Your Future. And next week, we're going to be talking about real estate, how it can bring generational wealth. Very important topic right
Yes.
there, because this. I wish I would have known about real estate before I got in the radio. I would have been. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we cannot wait. Ladies, thank you so much. Courtney Taylor, the Community Development Officer at Veritex Community Bank. Michelle Patterson, Community Bank Center Manager for Veritex Community Bank. And the lovely LaSonia Bishop, the Director of Workforce Programs at Volunteers of America, the Houston chapter. Thank you, ladies, for coming on and being a part of the very first Fund Your Future presented by Veritex Community Bank for Financial Literacy Month. I really appreciate your time and sharing your scholarship.
Thank you, KG. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And to the Magic family, my folks in Houston and in Dallas, thank you all so much for tuning in. And we will see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. right here on YouTube and Facebook Live. I'm KG Smooth, and I will see you on the radio.
When you look for a bank, choose a partner with local expertise and local decision making. Veritex Community Bank offers solutions and a true business ally. We look forward to building your future.